I gotta stand up because I'm a little nervous, man. I mean, there's a whole lot of people looking at me. You ever like wake up in a dream and everyone's just like staring at you? But you're like, you know you're dreaming, but you're just waking up. Man, what a trip. I got my dollar. Where's the basket at? Because I need to put them. Oh, here we go. My name is Tony, and I am a grateful, absolutely grateful, joyful, serene alcoholic. I am absolutely humbled by the presence here of our higher power. I'd like to take a moment to dedicate this session, this meeting, to all our brothers and sisters we have lost, and the ones that are still struggling right now in this moment. May you find us. All right. So yeah, let's see. So it's funny, right? So 17 years clean and sober. All right. And okay, there's a second part to it. Okay, I'll start again. Okay, 17 years clean and sober, and you have 30 minutes to summarize that shit, and you're on, buddy. Let's go. Take it away. Okay. It's been a journey. So we share in a general way what we used to be like, then what happened, and how we are today. So I used to be the real violent alcoholic, but it wasn't always like that. It started off fun, like always, you know. It was fun at the beginning, you know, drinking, hanging out with the boys, hanging out every Friday night. I used to work a block away from where I lived, so I would just walk to work. I didn't have to drive anywhere. It was perfect. I was 21, had my own studio in the heart of Los Angeles, California, on 7th and Union. Incredible life, man. And I was living it. I was, you know, renting my little room and working at Starbucks, and I had this amazing routine, and I was going to college. I had all these friends, and I had a refrigerator full of alcohol and all kinds of people coming over. They used to love my house because they'd come over, open the refrigerator, and it was stacked with Starbucks sandwiches and and drinks and fucking, you know, other stuff that I was supposed to throw away. You know, I used to love to be that guy. I used to be like, oh, I'll get rid of all those pastries, man. Don't even worry about it. And I used to love closing Starbucks because I would take all that shit to the trash. And on the way to the trash, I stopped at my car. And yeah, so I was real popular, you know. Tony's house, man. He's got the food, he's got the snacks, he's got the drinks. He's got the party house, man. So it was fun. It was 21, not even 20, 19, 20, 21, 22. And then so I'll go even a little bit further than that. First drink. 6 years old. One of my youngest memories was that we had this party. I'm Mexican, born and raised. So Mexicans have no age limit. Mexico has no age limit. You could be 5 years old and buy a bottle of Jack Daniels. No one cares as long as you have the money. So no age limit. So then, you know, we're having this party, and it was like Christmas or some kind of. And I was a real small kid, and I drank all the leftovers. So there's all these leftovers on the table. I drank them all, and I remember the room was like spinning, man. It was spinning, and I was like happy. I was laughing. I was laughing, right? And then I fell. I hit my knees, and I was crying, right? And everyone in the room was laughing. They were like, oh, look at little Tony. Look, he's drunk. Look, take a picture. And I'm this 6-year-old kid, and that was the first taste of alcohol. And I was like, oh, my God, what is that? What is this? And it was my first experience with it. Then fast forward to like high school, you know, most of us experienced in high school. Started meddling with the liquor, started meddling with the harder stuff, and it's got a little bit out of hand. Recently, I applied for a job, and they were asking for my high school transcripts. I thought that was weird. I was like, why do you want my high school transcripts if I already graduated college? Wouldn't you just want my college transcripts? And they're like, no, we need your high school transcripts. And I was like, why? That's such a weird question to ask. And then I started to think really hard. I was like, why do they want my high school transcripts, not my college? I mean, I have a degree. And then I really started thinking about, I'm like, you know what? High school is that time of development, age 14 and to like 20. That's when the brain is developing the fastest, the most, right? And that's when we really show our behavior through our grades. So I was like, that's why they want to see that. They want to see what I was doing those years, those very important developmental years. And I was like, oh shit, I'm not getting the job. You know what I'm saying? Because I got the transcripts, and I was looking at the transcripts, and you could literally tell when I started to go down the rabbit hole. Right at the end of the ninth grade, it was like A, B, A. Right at the end of the ninth grade, when I rediscovered Mr. Jack Daniels, which I have a lot of respect for Mr. Jack Daniels. 10th grade was like, D, D, F, F, F. What? D. No grade, like nothing, no letter grade, just blank. Like, what happened to this class? And I was like, that's crazy. Like, I could literally see when alcohol like took me for a spin. 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. And in the 12th grade, I kind of got my act back together, got my grades back up. So, needless to say, yeah, I grew up in a really toxic environment. My stepfather was authoritarian. It's my way or get out of my face. He was very difficult. He was a big black dude, like this tall, and thick British accent. Grew up in the Virgin Islands, and all he knew was just rage. Big buff dude, man. All he knew was just rage. And I remember one time he was beating the shit out of my brother, and then I got the knife. I got a knife, and I was coming after him, and then my brother saw me, and he jumped in between us, and I couldn't do anything. And then he got my brother and slammed him on the floor. And this is all like a Tuesday night in the kitchen, this is normalized in my household. And it was weird, like that was normalized for me, and it was very difficult growing up in that environment. Another time he kind of took me, threw me through a window because I didn't wash the dishes, or because I didn't put the cups away, or because I didn't turn off the TV when he asked me to. Whatever. So that was constant. Violence was constant in my childhood. And one time I decided no more. I was like, no more. I'm fucked up. This is it. I'm gonna stand up to this guy. If he's gonna beat me up, he's gonna beat me up. But it stops today. I'm done. I'm done with this dude. And he was coming at me all crazy in the backyard. And he was coming at me, this big black dude coming all crazy. And I was like, what's up, then? What's up? And I looked this little Mexican dude like this compared to him, right? But I had my fist clenched, and I was like, "What's up? Dude? What's up?" And I was like, "That." He came right at me, and he saw me, and I saw his face like change, and he was like, "What the fuck?" And he walked away. He walked away, and he never messed with me again after that day. He never ever messed with me, and he took it all on my brother. My brother was older than me, and my brother became the nemesis of the household. So, my go-to has always been liquor, because it's fast, it's cheap, and I don't have to remember shit for the next 3 to 5 days. So what happened? What used to be like a weekend thing, like Friday night, was like, okay, we could start Thursday, and then it would go to like Saturday or Sunday, and like, oh shit, Sunday. But then, Tuesday's right around the corner, and it's Taco Tuesday, so fuck it. We'll just stop on Tuesday. So now I'm starting on Thursday and ending on Tuesday. And it's like, what are you doing, man? And I couldn't wait to get out of the house. I couldn't wait to move out. I'm 19 years old. I'm done. I'm out of here. Got my own place, and that was my mentality. Just get fucked up, hang out with my friends, and just live this life. But I had this rage. In me, man. One of the most difficult memories I have, and I'm very ashamed to say it, but one of my ex-girlfriends was at the house, and she wanted to leave, and I was drunk, and I told her I can't drive, and she's like, I don't give a shit, I'll call somebody. And I was like, no, you're not. And she was like, dude, you're acting really, really stupid right now. And I was like, I don't care. And and I grabbed her, and I slammed her, boom, and it's like, literally, I'm repeating the cycle. That's like my dad. All over again. The cycle's there. And I slammed her, and I remember I looked at her, and she had this crazy look on her face, like this, like fear, right? Like she's like just terrified of me. And I saw it, and in my drunk haze, I remember that clearly. I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck are you doing? And so I started kicking the shit out of the couch, and I with my knee, and I busted up my cartilage. I was hitting it that hard. I literally messed up my knee, man, like forever. The next day, you know, she took off. I didn't even remember when she took off. And then we met up at the metro station, and she gave me all my belongings. And so she's breaking up with me, right? And I'm like, why? I'm like, what happened? No, but I'm like serious. Like, what happened? Like, tell me what the fuck happened. Like, I don't remember shit. And she's like, we'll talk about it another day. And I'm confused. I'm like, why? Everything was going right. Like, why? That's the thing about blackouts, man. You really, truly don't remember what happened. And people think you're making that shit up. People look at you and they're like, how could you not know? You were there. You did this. You did that to me. You were driving. How the fuck you don't remember that? And in the truth is, you don't. Like, you could swear on, dude, you could with the gavel. You could be like, Judge, I swear on everything. I don't remember. Because you really, truly don't. And that's a blackout. And that was my life. My life was just a series of blackouts and me dealing with the consequence of what I did. So then after that, after this crazy breakup, I took it really, really hard. And of course, the friends, I call the homies. Hey, man, I got the sandwiches, bro. And everybody comes over, right? I got Mr. Jack Daniels is the guest of honor and come on over. So that kept going. That was 19, 20, 21, 22, all the way to like around 23 years old. It got real dark. So no one's answering my calls anymore. Nobody. Actually, people are looking for me, and I don't want to be found. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, actually, I did that, and I did this, and I stole this, and I crossed this person, I crossed that other person. So it was a very, very dark period of my life. And I couldn't find a way out, man. I couldn't find a way out. I'm 25 years old, and I wrecked my car in the freeway. And this is a story I like to tell in a room full of family members like you, because you understand me and you will believe me when I say this story. But I can't tell this to the general population because they think I'm crazy. So I'm driving. Well, they tell me we're gonna party, we're gonna go out clubbing. So I'm like, yeah, clubbing. We pre-party. So I start pre-partying like the night before, which is really stupid. So by the time the next day comes and it's time to get dressed and go clubbing, I'm absolutely drunk out of my mind. So I get dressed, I put on my nice white shirt. It's beautiful, man, like long sleeve and everything, and my nice pants. I wore ones and my dress shoes. And we're gonna go dancing. That was the thing. We were supposed to go dancing. So I pick up my friends. I'm drunk as shit. I'm swerving. I'm swerving, and they're like, Tony, you can't drive. Like, literally, you can't drive, man. So they put me in the back seat. But we're still going. The night hasn't even started. We get there, we get to the club, and everyone in the car gets out. Yeah. And they get in line, and everyone goes in except me. Because Mr. Security Guard said I was too intoxicated to go in. And I was like, why? Why does this always happen to me, man? Like, why? I don't get it. So I'm sitting on the fucking sidewalk with my nice shirt, and I'm just like, why? I can't fucking go in. I just want to dance, man. 2 hours later of me sitting there like an idiot, they come out. They're all tired from dancing and shit. And then, I don't know, somehow, but I saw my key. I saw my car keys. Like, somebody had the keys. Like, they didn't know what to do. Like, what are we going to do? And I snatched them. I snatched the keys, and I was like, ha! And I went straight to the car, and they're like, fuck, he's taking off. So they're following me. I get to the car. They get in the car. They're like, okay, I was like, where are we going? And they're like, we're going to get some tacos. This is downtown LA. There's tacos all over the place. East LA has the best food in the world. And so we're driving there. It's literally get on the 101 North, fucking two exits, and then you're in East LA. Couldn't be more simple than that, man. I get in the car. I get one person's in the passenger. Only one person's in the passenger. I actually don't even know this person. I just met this girl. She's in the passenger seat. I'm driving. I get in the car and I'm driving. Next thing you know, I'm like 120. And here comes the exit. Of course, I don't even see the exit. And I crash into the center divider, like, boom, right? I got my seatbelt on, so I'm good. And I turn around, and then this girl's face is like bloody because her face smashed into the windshield, like smashed, and broke the windshield, and she's bleeding, and she's pregnant, and she's crying, and I'm like, fuck. Why does this keep happening to me, man? I just wanted to go dancing, dude. Like, what is this? So I pull over because the car's like, it's not running. I just pull over in the freeway, right? And this is the crazy part that I cannot understand. And this is a true story. So I'm parked like that, and she's yelling and screaming at someone on the phone for help. She's screaming for help, somebody to come get her. Because first of all, she doesn't even know my name. I don't even know her name. We're supposed to just get tacos. We had a caravan of cars. We're all following each other. This random car out of nowhere, big ass truck, big ass beautiful white truck comes out of nowhere. Just pulls up right next to me, right in front of me. This dude, this tall 7 foot fucking Brad Pitt looking dude comes right up to my window and he's like, don't move. And I was like, all right. And he changed my tire. He fucking reached in and opened opened the trunk and went in the trunk, got the spare, jacked up the car, changed the tire, and I'm like, what the fuck? So then I'm trying to help him. I'm like, I get out of the car and I try to help, and in the whole process I'm doing this, they come pick this girl up. I guess her boyfriend or brother, sister, whoever came picked her up, and they're like, what were you thinking? And she's like, whatever. I never saw her for the rest of my life. And I'm trying to help this Brad Pitt dude, and fucking helping him with my nice shirt, man, and I'm picking up the tire, and I'm all dirty and shit, and he just tells me to sit down. He just keeps telling me to sit down. And I was like, fuck, okay, so I sit down. I'm just waiting, and the car, and then he takes off in this beautiful white truck, and then he just goes into the outer space and shit. And I'm like, well, it's 4 a.m. I'm fucked up. I got a bottle of Jack Daniels in the center divider. Where do I go? I know, Starbucks, where I work, of course. So that's what my brain told me to do. I went to Starbucks and I parked, and I walked in there, and it's the opening shift. I walk in there, and my coworkers are there, and I clearly remember I'm like trying to ask for coffee, but I'm mumbling and shit. And they all come to see Tony, right? And they're looking at me, and they have this crazy look, the same look that my ex-girlfriend gave me, right? Like, they can't believe me. So all they see is this dude with a really nice white shirt full of blood that's not his blood, and like dirt, like oil and dirt from the fucking wheel that I was carrying the wheel trying to help. And they're like, Tony, what the fuck, bro? And I was just like, can I get some coffee? And they gave me the cup of coffee, and it was like freshly brewed. So I grabbed it with both hands, and I'm trying to drink it, and I burned my mouth, I burned everything, I burned my shit, and I'm like, oh, fuck. So I'm just, you know what? Fuck, I just went home. I just remember I just went home. All right, now, I know this sounds crazy, but some of you may believe me. I wake up the next morning, and I fucking wake up in the same clothes, and I look like I just fell from the sky. And I'm like, hello? And I'm trying to figure it out because I can't remember anything. I can't remember. So I'm like, okay. And I'm trying to remember, and this is like, I'm 22. This is 2002, no cell phones, no smartphones, none of that shit. So I'm trying to piece it together, like, what happened? And I find a flyer, and it's for the Mayan. That's where we're supposed to go dancing. And there's the question mark. Somebody wrote a question mark and a happy face. And I was like, that's where I went. Like, that's where I went last night. So now I have a clue. I have to put it together. And then I get my phone, and I have like 44 missed calls and 14 voicemails. And it's like 9 a.m, and I'm like, what happened? And every voicemail I have is my coworkers. They're like, Tony, your car. It's a Starbucks. Tony, your car. Come get your car. Tony, your car. It's serious, your car. And I was like, shit. So I hung up, and then so here I am. I'm walking, right? The walk of shame. I'm walking a block away to my car, and I'm walking, and all I see is like this crowd of people. It's a shopping place. They have a McDonald's, a Home Depot, the Starbucks, different shops. So I'm walking, and I took the long way around. So I see a cop car and a group of people just hovered around a car. I can't see the car. I just see the group of people, and I'm like walking around like, what the fuck? Like, what happened here? And I get closer, and then I recognize the car, and I'm like, oh shit! And I keep walking, and I look inside the car, and there's blood in the car, and there's a bottle of Jack Daniels right in the middle of the center divider, and the whole front is like smashed, like fucking smashed. And I'm like, just walking by, like I'm not minding my business. I'm just walking by, and I go and I sit down, and then I'm sitting down, and once again, man, I have a group of friends in front of me, sitting down, all concerned, staring at me, going, "What happened?" And I'm like, dude, everybody keeps always asking me that question. I don't know what happened. If I fucking knew, I would tell you what happened. I don't know what happened. And that's literally my history with alcohol is I don't know. I just don't fucking know. I wish I could tell you. I just don't know. And it's called the wreckage of my past. I did get a chance to speak to that young lady many years later. She had her baby. The baby was healthy. She forgave me for that night. She knew my history. She knew who I was. She knew what she was getting herself into. I apologized for almost killing her and her baby. I said, I'm sorry, and everything was okay. So that's one happy ending for that night. That was I think a Thursday night salsa night at the Mayan. Okay? Thursday night. It's not even the weekend. The weekend is a whole other story. Okay? That was just one night of many nights, of many months, of many years of my inability to stop drinking. Even after that happened, I still drank. And people ask me, why? Why would you drink again after almost killing yourself and another person? And the answer is, I don't know. So this kept going for a while, and I just couldn't stop. I couldn't stop myself from drinking or acting like an idiot. So one night, don't worry, I'm going somewhere with this. It was my last night. I decided, you know what? This is it. If I can't stop drinking and I can't keep my life together, I'm gonna say goodbye. But I'm gonna do it my way. And I did. I put my favorite song on repeat. And I dimmed the lights. Real romantic. And I put my favorite movie. Back in the day, they used to call DVDs. I put that shit and I pressed play and I pressed repeat so that shit could be on loop. And I dimmed the lights and I drank as much as I could and I mixed it with pills and I said goodbye. So I wrote a goodbye letter. Dear diary, this is me and this is my last day on earth. And I left it on the coffee table. And my idea was they're going to come in the next day and they're going to find my body. But my favorite song is going to be on and my favorite movie is going to be on, which is all that matters at this point in my life. That's my best thinking got me there in my full alcoholism. And I said goodbye. I went like this. Goodbye. All right. Well, that night, around 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning, I woke up in the restroom once again. I don't know how I got to the restroom. I was throwing up this black vial, which I could only think is my lungs or my kidneys. I don't know what. I was throwing up something. And I was laying out on this tile floor, and I was reaching out like this, and I was like, help me. I was like, please help me. I was like, please help me, please help me. And in that moment, all of a sudden, I believed. Okay? I came to believe, and that was my rock bottom. 17th rock bottom. And I was like, okay, dude, I need help. And I was asking for help for whoever. At that moment, I was like, Jesus, Jehovah, Buddha, Christ, Krishnamurti, the universe, the earth, the higher power, the creator. I'm listening. And then, of course, no one believes me but you guys. I heard my name. I heard my name 3 times. Tony. And a lot of people tell me that was like my rebirth. Like I was born again that day. But it was actually 3 friends on my front door. And they were like knocking on my door. And they were like trying to come in to play video games. Because I had a PS3. And back in the day, you had to be a millionaire to have a PS3. Because they were like $1,000. And they were like, Tony. So I stumbled downstairs. I opened the door. And once again, man, they look at each other and they look at me and they give me the same look that I've been getting for like a decade. It's a crazy fucking look they have. And they just look at each other and they're like, he did it again. And then they call my mom and they're like, your son did it again. You need to come right now. And then everybody shows up and everybody's all worried for me. And my mom comes and she gives me the same crazy look. And I don't understand why this keeps happening to me. And I can't even kill myself. And I'm really trying. This was like my 4th or 5th real attempt. Not like, I'm going to kill myself if I can post it on social media. That shit didn't even exist back then. You just did it. And I didn't get it. I didn't get why. But this time it was real. I went to work. Once again, I'm able to hold the job. I don't care how messed up I get. I show up the next day. I show up smelling like shit, looking like shit, feeling like shit, but I show up. So they couldn't fire me. And I show up and I told my boss, hey, I'm not coming in tomorrow. And he's like, you're taking the day off? And I'm like, nah, man, I'm going to shoot myself with my brother's shotgun in the face. And he was like, oh, okay, don't move. And he left the office, and I'm sitting in the office, and I was serious. I was like, I can't do it any other way. I'm just going to do it with my brother's shotgun. And he came back in the room, in the office, and he gave me a little piece of paper. And this little piece of paper changed my life. This little piece of paper had a phone number, and that's how I met you guys. That's how I met my spiritual family. That's how I met my brothers and sisters in recovery. People that know exactly what I've been through and you've been through. And people that believe me when I say I don't remember, because they don't remember. And people that understand that I killed myself and I was reborn because they've done the same thing, just like me. And I felt at home. And I never, ever, ever left. That was 17 years ago. I walked into a Alcoholics Anonymous meeting. The first thing they told me was, sit down and shut the fuck up. And I was like, whoa, man. I was like, hi, do you know who I am, bro? Like, do you know where I come from, bro? Like, why are you talking to me like that? And they didn't care. They didn't give a shit. They just told me to sit down and shut up. And I paid attention. I sat down in the front, and I was like, fuck, they're serious, man. And they spoke to my soul. And they spoke a language that I understood from day one. And I never left. And if you guys had told me you need to stand on your head facing north for 10 minutes a day, every morning when you wake up, and you'll never drink again, I would have done it. I would have asked, what corner? Or can I use a pillow? I wouldn't have questioned it. Because that's how desperate I was. That's how I had the gift of desperation when I came in. So I kept going to the meetings. Tuesday night was my meeting, 7:30 to 9 p.m. That was my fellowship, and I had a commitment. So for the first year, I was a coffee guy. The coffee commitment is very important. You cannot have a meeting without coffee. If you have a meeting without coffee, and it's your job to get the coffee, they will come find you. They will find you. They will find. They want to know what happened. Where are you? Why didn't you show up? They'll show up at your house, right? So it's really important for me, and I felt accountable. First year, I was a coffee guy. Second year, I was a chip person. Third year, I was a cake person. In the fourth year, I was a secretary. And I'm talking about like every Tuesday night for a whole year. In the fifth year, I had my own meeting. And I felt like I was like a big shot. I was like, dude, I have my own meeting. I get to tell people like, okay, you're the speaker tonight. Okay, you're the chip person. I was like, this is awesome. It's working for me. I was really into it. And my sponsor told me, you know what? You're really good with people and you can talk real good. Why don't you become a counselor? And I was like, a counselor? Dude, I work at a bank. I'm making $80,000 a year, bro. I'm 26 years old. Why would I want to a counselor? I was like, dude, I'm going to Vegas every month for fun. Why would I want to go be a counselor, make $10 an hour, bro? Are you kidding me? And my sponsor just said, just think about it, man. Just think about it. You may go back to school. And he planted that seed, man. And I was like, fuck, And it stuck with me. And I was like, fuck. And I was on my fourth year, going on to my fifth year. And I was like, oh, my God, I can't believe I'm going back to school, man. And I'm in my 30s now. So I go back to school reluctantly, and I'm sitting in class. And then they start talking about, like, the disease. And they start talking about the brain. And they start talking about alcoholism. And they start talking to a real language of science. And I'm like, oh, shit, like, all right, this is cool. so that it makes sense to me. So I get the AA degree and I go back. I tell my sponsor, I've got my degree, now what? He's like, get your bachelor's. I'm like, okay, fuck it, I'll just do it. So then I went and I got the bachelor's degree, and I'm like, okay, I got the bachelor's degree, now what? And he's like, get your master's degree. I was like, oh my God, are you serious, bro? More papers and shit? Okay. I just went, no questions, I went and I got my master's degree. And I just did it. I'm just following direction, right? I'm done. I told my sponsor I'm done, man. I got the master's degree. I'm officially, I'm a master's level counselor. I'm ready, man. I'm ready for the world. Now what? And he's like, at this point, Tony, your journey, your life, your story is no longer up to you. It's no longer yours. At this point, you're being of service at the highest calling. Get your doctorate degree. And I'm like, are you kidding me, man? Are you fucking kidding me? And it's like, you don't have a choice. It's not up to you anymore. So I said, okay. So I'm sitting here. I'm like 70% done. I'm on my way to be a clinical psychologist. And this is somebody that was homeless, helpless, hopeless, living in a van down by the river. Okay, maybe not. But I was living under my brother's desk in his office, right? Maybe the LA River, but this is somebody that was absolutely hopeless, somebody that couldn't stop drinking, couldn't even kill himself to stop drinking. It was a hopeless, helpless case. And now I'm of service at the highest level. I mean, I work for the state. I help people at the highest level. I'm trying to make real changes in this field from the inside. And I want to assure you of something, okay? When you see me up here and you see me speaking, you guys are going, man, he speaks real good. That man there, he's a real good man there. I can never do what he does. You are correct. You are correct. Do not compare yourself. If I told you how many times I've spoken 17 years, it will blow your mind, okay? Because I've only spoke 3 times. This is my 3rd time speaking in 17 years, okay? And here is my secret. I don't talk about it. I'm not a big talker. There's a lot of people that talk real good. You talk real good, sir. Right? I don't talk about it. I just fucking do it. I just do it. I work really hard. I take it really serious. I help a lot of people at every level of my life. I take it real serious. It's in my blood. When I say you guys are my brothers and sisters in recovery, I'm speaking the truth. You guys are my sisters and brothers in recovery. When I say things like I do not lie, I do not lie. You never have to tell a lie for the rest of your life, ever. All of you sitting here never have to tell a lie. You just don't have to say anything. No one will ever force you to lie. No one will ever force you to answer a question you don't want to answer. So I just don't. I say I don't want to talk about that right now. I don't feel comfortable speaking right now. May I please go for a walk? But I just don't lie. Because if you lie, then you have to keep the lie and build upon that lie, and then you can't remember what you said, what lied to what person, and then it affects my soul. And I've been there. I crossed over. The story I told you, I really did cross over. I do remember what I saw. I can tell you what I saw. I don't know if you guys want to hear that, but I can tell you exactly what I saw on the other side. Fuck it, I'm just going to tell you. Absolute, total darkness. It was a darkness that you could feel, you could touch. It's palpable, it's all over you, and it's heavy. That's what's on the other side. And I crossed that night. When I said goodbye, I crossed over. Let me tell you something. Any worst, bad, horrible day on planet Earth, I'll take that day over that experience I had when I crossed over. There's nothing on the other side. That whole bullshit about your family will join you and you're gonna see your old self and all that. That's dude, there's nothing. Okay? So you're here on Earth, you're in this side right now. Enjoy it. Enjoy the light. Enjoy it. Try your hardest, your best to do the best in this program. The program is real. We have been blessed. I'm not going to get too much into it, but every person in this room has been blessed. You've already won. How do I know? Because I speak to hundreds of people each and every day that are desperate and can't seem to find us. They can't see it. They can't find it. They can't. They're blind to it. But you guys are here. You guys have it. You have the gift. You have it. Our job is to make sure we're here, we're present, so that when the next Bill W walks in, we inspire them. We don't know. Maybe the person's already here in this room. We don't know who's the next Bill W. Who's going to take AA for the next 100 years. We don't know who that person is. Might be that kid right here with us. We don't know. We have no idea. Our job is to just be present and inspire that next generation that's coming in so that AA is around for the next 100 years, for the next 300 years. So I encourage you, every single one of you, I encourage you to be around in 2035 when AA turns 100 years old. So we could all hold hands and be present and be part of that. It's in 11 years from now. And if we plant the seed now, if we start planting now, then when the day comes and it's 100 years of Alcoholics Anonymous, we can say we're part of that. We're part of the first 100 years, and we're making sure it's here for another 100 years. It's that important to me because I can see it. I've seen it. I've seen what it has done to people around the world with the possibility to heal. It's very, very real. So what my life is like now, this is it. My life is real simple. I have my beautiful partner. We have a 9-month-old. We live a humble life. We actually live at my mom's house. We pay little bills here, little bills there, and we're saving up to get our own place one day. I have a job. She has a job. We have movie night. Tonight we're watching that Conor McGregor movie. We're like really excited about it. We've been watching behind the scenes, and we're watching how he trained for it, and Jake Gyllenhaal, and we're like, it's like the most mundane things that people look and be like, that shit sounds boring, bro. But for us, it's like a gift. Because I come from a situation where there's absolutely no way I could do that. People couldn't trust me to turn their lights off. People couldn't trust me at all. So I'm coming from a very, very different background. So today my life is real simple. And you don't have to be a public speaker. You don't. I'm the living proof. You don't have to speak every single weekend and then give your absolute everything to the program, but to the point where you don't have a life. You don't have to. You don't have to. Just try your best. Do your best. Be honest. And work the steps. Obviously, I have a sponsor, same sponsor for 17 years. I've done the steps. It took me 5 years. Okay? Don't compare yourselves. I'm slow. Yes, I am slow. It took me 5 years to do all 12. Then you redo them again. And sometimes you'll get it real fast. Sometimes it's a little slower. But it's your program. Just be honest with yourself. To thine own self be true. That's like the one spiritual principle I like to follow. To thine own self be true. Because you could put a different face to people on the outside, people at work, people at the meetings. But what's really going on, only you know what's really, really going on in here. Is there some kind of, something's bothering you? Is it growing deep? Is it dark? What's going on? Speak about it. And then it loses its power. So it's an honor to be here. I really take this really serious. It's my life. It's my lifelong journey. My only wish and only desire, and this sounds really selfish, but I'm going to say it, why not? But my only wish and desire on planet Earth is to die clean and sober. That's it. I don't want a mansion. I don't want the $1 billion. I don't want my name to be on a fucking plaque and like the second coming of AA. Dr. Arenas, the founder of the new psychology. That's all a bunch of bullshit. Okay, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, I don't care. I'm just doing God's will. I'm just doing what my sponsor tells me to do. I'm doing what you guys asking me to do, and that's to stay clean and sober for one more day. And that's what I wish to do, is to just be able to die clean and sober and know that I did it, that in this life, I won. Every day I'm clean and sober, I win. How long do we have? Because I can start all over again if you want me to, in Spanish.
We're slated to 6:30. It's all your meeting.
All right, so what time is it right now? All right, 6:18. I want to do something different. I want to open it up. I want you guys to pick my brain. I'm 17 years clean and sober. So I'm going to open up the floor for any questions, any comments, anything you guys want. I'm here for it. Anyone?
I got one.
Go for it.
What is your fondest memory of being sober?
You're going to think it's cheesy. Yeah, honestly, be honest, 100% being honest with you, sincere, standing here in front of you. Remember when I told you that I'm waking up in a dream? I really mean it. So tomorrow, when you wake up, this will be a memory. All of our dreams are memories. We're all dreaming. So this is my dream, brother. Welcome. It's the fondest dream I've ever had. I'm able to wake up in this dream and I'm clean and sober. Yes.
What would you say your higher power is? And I guess what do you think about the Bible?
So I was raised in Mexico until I was 12 years old. So heavy Catholicism, Jesus Christ, but they also believe in saints. So the Virgin Mary and all kinds of saints, like hundreds of saints, right? So I grew up with that mentality that God is real, but also saints are real, and also the Virgin Mary is real, right? And then around like age 14, 16, my mom kind of said, you're on your own to find out for yourself. Find out what God is for yourself. That was the most powerful thing my mom could have ever done for all of us, because it gave me the opportunity to open my mind, to open my third eye, right? So my higher power is actually, it's going to sound so cheesy, man, but I'm happy you're asking. This moment. This very moment. Because in this moment I was born, and in this moment I will die. There is no other moment. Once you become totally aware of the moment, you realize the past is a memory and the future doesn't exist. So that is my higher power. It's being aware of this moment is literally God, the awareness of God. And there is no religion involved. It's just God. And it's here. Yes.
What would you say to parents of alcoholic children?
Education. Educate yourself. Know everything you can know about alcoholism and the different drugs that are out there. Okay? Alcoholism includes drugs. Alcohol is a drug, period. Alcoholism includes drugs. So educate yourself first. You can't educate your children if you don't know yourself. But educate yourself and show them what it is. Tell them the truth and speak to them frankly. Like I may never see you again, because with the way where you're going is an early grade. Just speak to them very frankly. And if you find yourself too involved and it's taking you down, it's taking your recovery down, then I recommend Codependence Anonymous, so you could set those boundaries, or Al-Anon, set those boundaries and say, no more, my son, my daughter, I've done enough. Goodbye. And that's very difficult to do.
Yeah, it's my brother and sister-in-law and my nephew.
Yes.
And they're ignoring. They're just.
Yes. When your nephew says, Uncle, can you help me? Bring him here.
Okay.
That day when your nephew says, what is those meetings you go to? Because you're always real happy when you come home. What is that? That day, bring him. Like, just be like, let me introduce you to somebody. And just bring him here and expose them to Alcoholics Anonymous. But when they're ready, okay? Did you have a question back there? Thank you. Yes, you?
Well, I see, you did 17 years, and that's great. But I know the journey getting there. You said that you've seen a real bad darkness for your future. And when you decided to stop and get your life right, your first year came, your 5-year came, your 10-year came. Now I know when people are comfortable with life and things are going good and maybe friends are having fun and you see a drink,
Yeah.
you feel comfortable enough to want to take that drink. What stops you?
Here's the thing. I do not have friends that drink. I repeat, I do not have friends that drink. If I'm in a room and people are drinking, I'm in the wrong room. I'm an alcoholic. I can't be around it. I can't smell it. I can't have it in the same room. Why? Because I'm an alcoholic. So time doesn't exist. 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 17 years, it doesn't matter. It's 24 hours. I always have that mentality. I've been clean and sober for 24 hours. That's it, period. I don't let my head get so big. I'm like, I'm 17 years old. I can hang out with the buddies again. I can't do it, brother. I just cannot. Because I learn from other people.
If it wasn't with the brothers or
Yeah.
You know, sometimes your thoughts will do it to you.
Yeah, I hear you. Cravings are there. Sometimes you want to, go to a UFC fight and people are drinking, and no one's going to know if I have a drink. But I will know. I'm going to know I drank. So then at that point, you have to get real serious about your recovery. At that point, that person has to say, okay, why am I having these thoughts? And why am I struggling so much? Why? Right? And you ask these questions and you talk to your sponsor and you come to meetings and you find out what step you're on. And if the answer is I don't know to all of those questions, then you're in danger. Okay, the steps are here for a reason. 1935. They haven't changed. They work, that's why. So take it real serious. It is academic. You do have to write and process. Or you're going to be stuck just dry. There's alcoholics that are in the program that are just dry. They're just dry and fucking holding on. They're shaking like a leaf, man. Like holding on, fucking bare knuckling, man. It shouldn't be like that. You should be comfortable. You can go to shows. You can go to movies. You're going to be exposed to drugs and alcohol in our society. It's impossible to walk into a 7-Eleven and not walk through a liquor aisle. It's impossible. We don't live on an island. So you have to be strong. Your program has to be like fireproof. So I suggest go back to the basics. Get the commitment once a week. Start the steps, man. Meet with your sponsor. Anyone else? Yes.
Well, what would you say to like the person who's not really sure if they're an alcoholic because they have really low bottom, but they just don't want to drink?
I would say congratulations on not having to lose your mind and soul. Congratulations, you're here. You're in a situation where all of us wish we would have gotten it at that age. All of us wish we would have been here much sooner. Keep coming back. Keep coming back. Remember that the only requirement for membership is a desire to stop drinking. That means you drank 2 times on prom night and it made you sick, and now you go to meetings. Congratulations, you're in Alcoholics Anonymous. Because the only requirement is a desire to stop. Remember that. So you don't have to match stories or have this crazy rock bottom. You just have to be of service. And I encourage you to keep coming back. And please, because you're the next generation and your child is the next generation. So keep coming back. Anyone else? Let's do one more. Come on, somebody. Bring it. Yes.
As a former violent alcoholic as well, I found the hardest person to forgive in the world is myself. So I was wondering if you had a process for that, or what was the moment?
Keep working on the program. Keep working on yourself. One day, around year number 7, you're going to walk into a restroom or a bedroom and you're going to run into your reflection. And suddenly you're going to really see yourself for the first time. And you're going to start crying like a little 5-year-old, and you won't know what's happening to you. And it's total forgiveness of self. It takes time, brother. It takes time. That is very, very difficult to forgive ourselves for all the people we've hurt, and especially ourselves. So it's just time and service. Be of service. Be of service. If anybody's wondering where the program is, look at all your commitments that you have on a weekly basis. And if it's the number 0, you're in danger. So check yourselves. I love you guys. I really do. I promise you. I've given my life to this program. My life is no longer mine. This is God's will, and I'm doing God's will, period. And I will keep going as far as I can to the last day, till my last breath. It will be to AA. Because of AA, I'm standing up here. Because of AA, I have this second chance at life. Because of AA. So how do I repay that? How can I possibly repay that? I can't. I can only be of service for the rest of my life. So I encourage you to join us. And I love you all. Okay? And keep coming back. Please keep coming back. My name is Tony, and I'm a grateful alcoholic. Thank you guys.
All right, guys, it's closed.
Thank you. Let me go over there. Yeah, let's close it with a serenity prayer. Okay. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change,
courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Keep coming back, it's working, and you're worth it. Working.
Hey, what was your last song? What was that song you were What was it? Wu-Tang, some Wu-Tang?
Nah, I think it was Chris Isaac.
Chris Isaac, which one?
You know the.